In this video, I'm going to show you how to locate Pantones, what are global colors, and how to convert RGB and CMYK to Pantone. So first off, if you've ever worked in Illustrator before, usually when you're opening your swatches, which looks like little boxes over here, or you can go to Window, swatches at the bottom, you'll find that they have a variety of colors. Usually this is set up in CMYK breakdown, because a lot of this will end up possibly for print over the web. So with this, you'll just see blocks of color like this. Now, there are various looks to this, so you can see a block of color. This will either be an RGB or a CMYK. If you see a color that has a white triangle, that is a global color. And if you see a white triangle with a little black dot in it, that is Pantone. So first off, what is Pantone? Pantone is a coloring matching system, okay, PMS. What this does is let everyone in the world have the same color system. So if I was to make something here and get it printed in China, as long as they have Pantone, I know exactly what color they'll be using because the Pantone matching system. And so they have color books that have these already printed, a color system in place. And so by mixing the ink, you'll be able to know exactly what color you want to do, which is really handy. Not all printers provide this, so you'll want to ask your printer about these options. So first, let's say I know my job that I'm going to be doing is in Pantone, and so right from the get-go, I want to go to that. So if I come up here into my swatches, and I go to these three little lines, in any program that means more options for you. I usually call it my little stack of pancakes. So if I click this, and I come down here to open swatch library, I have all these options to give you different themes on colors. So if you're interested in art history and pop art, Illustrator has already devised a color system that might help with that. But I actually want to come down here to color books, and I can see all these Pantones. Now, this will depend on your print job, of course, but what I would probably stick to is either solid coated or solid uncoated. Coated and uncoated, that's just the difference between if there's a coating on the paper to help how the ink sets on there and looks. So if you want to sort of boil it down in a way, think about a matte paper versus a glossy paper. But you have all these other options for you as well. But I'm going to go to solid coated. And here I can open, and I can also add over here if I want to. And here's all my Pantones, all available to me. So all of these already have a system. You can order any of these. The printers can work with all of these. You can still layer them any which way you want. You can add effects, and that's fine. But these are the colors that you have to work with that, which might not seem like as many as you possibly can think of, but it gives you a ton of options. And remember, this is just Pantone with solid coated. And remember, this has the white triangle with a little dot in it. So that's how you can find them in the first place. And you can always add them if you like by clicking, dragging, and hovering over until you see a bright blue, and then it will be added right there for you. But I'm going to come back to my swatches over here. So let's say I wanted to make one of these colors a global color, or I wanted to take my global color and change it. To change a color, first you can come down here to New Swatch, and you can pick your color mode. So grayscale, RGB, HSB, that's more for web, CMYK, lab, web safe RGB, those are all different breakdowns for you. But let's say I didn't want CMYK. Now here, you can pick between process color and spot color. A process color is more with the CMYK breakdown. It offers sort of a layering process where you can work with multiple colors at once, where a spot color is much more expensive. So usually that has a specialized plate for printing, so that adds to the cost, but you can think of it as maybe a gloss color. If you've ever seen business cards and they're sort of shiny, just on one specific spot, that's usually a spot color. It could be a gloss spot, and that's fine, so a clear coating. It could be a metallic, anything like that. But that's more money and more cost. So normally you want to stay away from that unless your printer specifically says spot color. So I'm going to go to process color here. And if I didn't want global, it would just show up like these up here. But if I did, then I could click that and push OK. Now it would go into my library just because that was the location, but it would also end up over here too, right there. So the thing with a global color is that if you make a global color, and let's say I wanted to change everything that was golden on here, whether it be on 2 different layers, which these are, the flowers and the words are on 2 different layers. If I come here and I know that these have been globally done, if I double click and I change this, and let's say I want to go a little bit more darker, I want to see that, I can preview that, and all of that has changed. So this is great in a way because this is for fast changes. If you have a lot of little parts, you can change it so fast. But it can get hairy at times when if you want to go back and forth between both of them, this is where you might actually want to open a separate document just to keep them completely separate from each other and safer that way. Now I'm going to show you now how if I have CMYK or even CMYK Global, I'm going to show you how to change this into Pantone. So first off, what I did, I made sure to have all my colors over here just to make it easier for myself. And I'm going to just show you the differences between what the CMYK versus the Pantone will look like. So I'm just going to copy these over. You can do that by holding down Option Command or just Option and click and dragging. So here what I'm going to do, I want to change that to my Pantone. I'm going to come up to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. Now I don't need to mess with anything around here right now. What I want to do is come down here. And this is everything that you've seen over in my pancakes over there, right? So you can come here and change any of that. But here I just want to go back to my color books. And I'm going to go to Solid, Coded, just for an example. And I'm going to push OK. And you can see here, it hasn't changed much, but it's dulled it down a little bit. And usually it won't change so much, but if it does, what you can do is if you have the physical color books, which our program does, EKU, you can see what color this is closest to, and if you need to change it, go ahead and do that by looking at how it would actually print. So again, I'm selecting one, I'm coming over here to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, coming down here to None, Color Books, and Solid Coded. Again, overall a good difference there, right? So if you don't like it, go ahead and refer to the books and see how you want that changed. Now, as you have, now we just did this for reference here, but as you have gone over there, you can see that, again, this is a global color because there's no black dot, and this is a Pantone. So unlike a global where if you touch it, everything will recolor, even if it's on a different layer, it will not do that for Pantone, so you have to select everything. So be aware of that when you're working with a lot of little objects. So I've come here and I want to change that to my Pantone, and there we go. And then let's see, I'm going to come over here, change this again, Edit, Edit Colors, Rework, Color Books, Solid Coded, okay. And you can see that's lightened up quite a bit. So again, I have this here. I'm going to select this and change it. And wow, has that brightened. So again, that's where you want to refer to your physical color books to see how you want that changed again. And that's it. So again, use Pantones if you know your printer is able to print Pantones. Otherwise, try to stick with CMYK breakdown. Come up to Edit, Edit Colors, and then Recolor Artwork if you want to go from RGB or CMYK to Pantone. And don't be afraid to test out global colors.